delighted, excited, and enthusiastic to be here with you for our live stream today, to be with those who would like to join into our conversation.
Well, certainly, welcome everyone of the Sun Live. And today, we're going to be talking about something that's ever pervasive in the human experience. Fear is what we're covering. And the maxim is the biggest trick played on humanity is fear. And so, we're going to do a deep dive with Lao Tzu regarding this and looking at experiences within arm's reach. And then also the greater drama that we find ourselves involved in as a collective humanity. So, with that being said, before we dive into it, got a few announcements. So, we are in the middle of the month. We're continuing with the DNA activation class this Thursday, next week, Thursday, and we're essentially deep diving into the mechanics of what does it mean to replicate DNA? What does that look like
Yes.
in your day to day experience? How do we sustain a high vibratory experience to continue replication? And we're just really going into it, getting down into the nitty gritty, so to say. And one thing that I have often seen that has worked for myself and others is the more you understand about a thing, the more clarity you have, the greater potentiality you have to expand within the
Right.
idea. And so day 2 and 3 is presenting the clarity to move forward. Do you have any thoughts on DNA activation at all?
Yes, the success is the activity of connecting the energetic strands of DNA that humanity has been relieved of, so to say, from the 12 original strands to the two current strands and the varying degrees of those who are being born with varying levels, is one aspect. So, what we hear about in the community, in the energetic community, is connecting DNA, but that's not the most important thing. That can happen spontaneously through intense desire. However, what is overlooked is the necessity for taking full responsibility in the day to day management of every thought and every action and how you treat everyone. And that changes whether the experience of having the DNA connected affects your dimensional experience. And this is what they learn in day 2 and day 3. In the first day, they get the connection, which is divine. But after that, you get the understanding that never stops. As your desire increases to know, the increase comes into you at varying levels and degrees. So I'm so happy that we have this expanded opportunity of DNA. For years, once we started doing DNA, it was very clear that people thought they would just come and pay money and it would be done. Nothing operates that way. When you go and have a meal, it's not like you never need another meal. you know, you go, you pay
Like,
your
that's
money for
it.
dinner, like you're done
Meals
for life.
for life. Yeah.
And it's more the idea of a love affair, that more is being required as time goes on, not less. That it is necessary for you to be in accord. It is necessary for you to understand more deeply your position in the relationship that requires more and deeper expansion of self, which then expands the other self. That is also DNA. This is this idea of growing ourselves is a love affair with source and self, and tangentially everyone else. So that's what I have to say about it.
Well, thank you for sharing. This is a very grounded articulation of what to expect and the understandings of how this process actually unfolds. So, thank you.
Yes.
So, again, tonight it's going down. DNA,
Yeah.
going into the understandings. So, for anyone who's participated in the audit and you're like, I still want to jump in, go ahead, jump in. Because sometimes we get emails, is it too late? No, it's not. Go ahead, join us. We're going to have a good time. And then also this Friday, Diane, she's doing her Divine Nation group card pool. I'll be guest hosting with her this Friday, so we're going to have a good time there. And you can catch her every second, third, fourth Friday doing the card pulls, and every Wednesday at 12 noon doing a midday meditation, usually focused on an energy center or a mudra that could be associated with an energy center. So everything is tracking and pacing across the board. And I understand, and I think it's in the process of being formulated, next week, a type of panel of property clearers on high
Yay.
frequency living discussing quantum
Yay.
light property clearing. So I think we're going to have a really good time with that too. So be on the lookout for next Friday. And also, light body movement. We are concluding with the solar plexus this upcoming Sunday. And it's been quite the journey of, revisiting the activation and changing the identity to understand we are solar beings. We are, as you often say, per sun. It's all within arm's reach. It's right in front of us. And the solar plexus this month has really helped us move into more embodiment of that. You have any thoughts on this before we shift gears, because we're going into the heart next?
Absolutely. The necessity for recognizing Mother Earth and Father Sun and harmonizing at this time of the Earth, Mother Earth shift and the dimensional shift from third and fourth to fifth and sixth dimension. And we are fully in the fourth dimension, moving into fifth and stretching into sixth, that the connection for what is creation and what is solid, what is real, hold on to that. Let go of your plastic bags, your vegan bags. They're not going to anchor you.
Mess around, get more phthalates in you like that.
Yes. Make sure that you ground with Mother
Yeah.
Earth under the sun daily, asking for what is real to inform you at whatever level you are willing to be informed. This is everything at this time. We are in the moment of the shift, and the timeline shift is simultaneously happening, where love of self will help you find your place, your rightful place in where you should be at this time. So light body is really essential.
Yeah.
You got to get some of that get right
That
light.
get right light. Get right light.
Yes.
Do you or someone you know?
Need some get right light?
If
Send them to.
I want to speak on one point you made, reconnecting with what is real. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that is such the time. And many of us, we have spoken of this in Light Body, how we're noticing a demagnetization with what is not real, the
Right.
artificial constructs and systems that we're kind of herded mentally into. And I don't want that. I think I want to connect with the sun. I think I want to connect with the land, grow some food, touch an animal, touch grass,
Right.
this, what's real. And again, you are light. That's what's real. Biophotonic.
Yeah, I keep seeing things on articles and stories about people saying, we just don't know how the ancients did all these amazing things. They didn't have internet.
Yeah, it's 'cause they didn't fit within the limitation that you are currently operating in.
Because you don't know who they were, so you
Yeah.
attribute to them less than they are, and
Yeah.
so then you can't figure out how they did
Yeah.
anything. So I'm demagnetizing from a lot of that. Like, I can't figure out how did they draw pictures on the walls? How did they, were they just in their cartoon minds?
Yeah.
Were they just fantasizing?
No, they were tapped in.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, certainly. So, again, Light Body Movement, you can join us every first, second, third, and fourth Sunday. That's right. We are together 4 weeks out of the month for approximately an hour and a half, diving into the deeper clarity, the understandings of what does it look like? What does it mean when your solar plexus is balanced, what does life look like? What do you feel? What are your type of thoughts? And et cetera, for each energy center. This, again, this grounding and making these concepts practical and applicable in our everyday experience. And so, lastly, this upcoming month of March, you're bringing back the Soul Translation class, the next phase, Reclaim Your Sovereignty. And this is again for anyone who is looking to learn varying levels of soul clearing. This is more of entry level with this type of advanced class. And again, encouraging those who are in the process of learning or getting your soul translation education. This is the next phase. So, would you speak to us a little bit about Reclaim Your Sovereignty before we conclude?
Yes, the whole idea is that we are multidimensional, we are wealthy, we are rich, we are exalted in all that we have, and most of us give it all away before we reach 30. You
Yeah.
know, we like give it, we make bad investments.
Like,
Like,
dang it.
I think I'll invest, in this Pledge of Allegiance and this, club and in this vow, and
Yeah.
make sure I do death do us part, and all of these things before you've grown up enough to know what any of that means. And because it belongs to you, and because it was originally from you, and because as the originator of it, it can return to you without damage to anyone else, you may reclaim that. Yes. You can call back everything from from whenever you have given it away. Whatever you have given it away, whatever your level of clarity was, whether you meant to give it away, whether you didn't mean to give it away, whether you were tricked into giving it away, whether it was a psyop and you gave it away.
Like, they got me. I didn't know.
Yes.
Now I know.
Yes, but it's yours. So it is by rights yours. So you shouldn't be taking anybody else's anything, but you can definitely give back yours. And that's what this class is all about. It's about every bank account, every place you ever worked for, every deduction that was ever removed from you energetically, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. Every deduction that you willingly gave or that was, you struggle with, like, no, I don't want to give it to you. And then they won. You can get all that back. So I'm really happy to hear that because I spent a lot of times in a educational process as I was growing up that was very restrictive. I'm pulling all of that back, like every bit of that. I'm not making them strong. I'm bringing back what was actually mine, and your opportunity to do the same exists.
I got a question for you. It's more so an advanced question, but I know the people are here for it. What would be the difference between something like this and like soul retrieval, like gaining back pieces of your soul? Like, where's the nuance in such a thing?
It's not so much really, they're different things in terms of intent. Often with soul retrieval, there's this issue of trauma and fragmentation because of events, which also operates and crosses over into this. But in soul retrieval, a lot of it is, or everything is actually self-imposed, but we don't always know that. In soul retrieval,
Yeah, like they did it.
yes. For instance, it's possible that you could look in the mirror and because of whatever time you live in and whatever the fashion is, you could decide there was something wrong with your ear. And you could, every time you look in the mirror, think, I don't, what's wrong with my ear? I don't like my ear. I, I would like to have someone else's ear. I like the way their ear looks and not the way my ear looks. That you can actually fragment and traumatize the aspect of you that you should be loving into a place where it no longer wants to be in your care. And then through soul retrieval, we can retrieve it. The same thing can happen when you misunderstand life and death and someone in your family dies and you feel it's virtuous to grieve, and then through grief you create a circumstance where you lose bits of yourself in the misunderstanding of life and death. when you somehow think you're the one in charge of it, because that's how that happens. People don't acknowledge that, but there's no reason for you to take full credit if you didn't do it.
Yeah.
So taking full credit for someone's life or death is really not your business.
Yeah. Leave that up to the universe and those who are positioned for
So when
that.
you do that, then you're out of balance, and then the distortion and the fragmentation that happens as a result creates so much trauma that now there has to be a bringing back into the pieces. So, in compassion for all of us, we do regain your freedom because we deserve the compassion because we have not been taught the realities. So, in compassion, we have this class so that whatever your story is, whatever you gave away, whatever you were tricked out of, whatever someone absconded with or lied to you about, or whatever you gave up freely, guess what? It's yours. You can have it all back. Yes, that's right. That's right. So that's how Regain Your Freedom works with soul retrieval. It's really often a matter of changing your point of view from varying levels of dislike of self to love of self. Whether the dislike makes you think that you're responsible for someone else's life and death, which you are not, or whether that means that you will start to love yourself to the degree that only the most elevated experiences come into your educational process on the earth plane, which is we're here to gain responsibility and to understand that we are the authority in our experience. So it's really essential, those two practices, and we're so happy that we have a new shaman working with Of the Sun. So Stephanie Miller is our new shaman, and she'll be doing the soul retrievals, and we're excited that that's taking place. She'll also be doing power animals who are part of your experience to help you. There are other aspects of your experience that are available to you. If you can acknowledge them and bring them into your experience, then they become helpers to help you do all of the many things that you are here to do. So we're very excited. We congratulate her and welcome her to Of the Sun.
Yes, most certainly. And so thank you again for elaborating on this. And as I'm hearing you, I'm seeing how with every facet, even with Stephanie Miller, our shaman, all of these modalities are looking to help or assist and aid you in returning back to wholeness. Moving, and it's so clear in the visual that you share with the explanation and the nuance between the two, very distinct. So thank you again.
Yes.
So this wraps up our announcements right now. So here we are. We're talking about fear.
Yes.
And again, for those who are tuning in, today's card pool is the theme fear, and it's playing out for the root chakra. And the maxim is the biggest trick played on humanity is fear. And the book carries on stating, your thoughts create, generate, and feed all your monsters until you choose not to.
Mm-hmm.
So where would you like to start with this, Lota? This humanity. Actually, if I may,
Yes.
what came up was the collective fear that humanity is experiencing, the shock, the trauma, these types of things that if I dare step out to be the truth, or I don't know, whatever that looks like, something will happen. So there's collective fear, but then there's also fear within arm's reach. Where would you like to start with this?
It's interesting because I grew up very afraid of everything, and especially of authority. So I come from a family where my father was a policeman, so I had this understanding of authority with a gun. And he was a judo and karate instructor, so I had that understanding of physicality with the idea that fear could be invoked. And I personally associated compliance, that if you were compliant, then you didn't have to be afraid.
Right? Like if you just listened, you wouldn't have to get chopped because daddy was chopping And if I can't chop you, I'm a pop pop. I'm gonna shoot you. That's what it looked like to me.
And
Just
that's
saying.
kind of how it was, especially as a little girl. So I think that collectively humanity has associated compliance with the idea of not needing to be afraid. Like, if I just do what the government says,
Yeah.
then if I just pay my taxes and keep my head down and don't let the teacher see me and don't say anything wrong, we're all good. And that is a misunderstanding. That is a deep misunderstanding that I know I had it, and I would be horrified and I'd be embarrassed to be with someone who was not of that thinking. Like, you're going to go on the wrong side of the street, you're going to cross without the light. You're going to do something, you're going to go in front of people in the line. It was like, oh, it's like, I'm going to stand over here so they don't know I'm with
Right.
you.
Disassociate. I don't even know who this guy is.
When they come for him, I'll be out of sight.
And so like that. Yeah.
And it's not untrue that the history that we've been fed, which is mostly not true, but parts of it are, that when people stand up, they don't stand up for long. All of that is true, but what is not taken into account is that there is such a thing as critical mass. There is such a thing as you cannot make me do what I will not do. And if all of us get together and say, you cannot make me do what I will not do, you can't do anything about it. It's like, we hear it all the time. People say, just stop everything. Stop driving, stop shopping, see what happens. See how they do after that. You are the engine. So the fear of, oh, but then I won't be able to, go buy my 40 ounce or my glass of wine. Or so that fear of not having the thing that you're using to escape your reality, you need to have the thing so that when you go, if you were going to go to work, when you came home from work, you could escape the reality of work. But if you didn't go to work, you might not need to escape the reality of work. So these ideas are part of what we're experiencing. Yes, people did get killed. Yes, part of the reason they got killed is that was what was in their mind as their reality of what would happen. I encourage you, it doesn't have to be like that. You could have another thought. You could be thinking it's gonna be a party. We all gonna be free. We're gonna be dancing in the streets.
Let's dive a little deeper into that. Are you all feeling that visualization? That like, but that's the thing. People's minds are so engulfed in fear, where the potentiality to even visualize or entertain something else seems sparse sometimes. But I think it goes back
so
to,
many examples, yes.
back to what you were saying, just the thoughts. And so back to what it says in the book: your thoughts create, generate, and feed all your monsters until you choose not to. How do people do such a thing? And because you just showed us, but I feel like for some people, like, easier said than done.
Well, as with all things, changing a habit takes time. We have a practice called the 21-day transmutation that's on our website that helps you step down from whatever the behavior is, including fear, that will move you step by step. You may not be fear-free at the end of 21 days, but you'll be fear-free of some of what you were fearful of. So there's this step back, but mostly there's the decision, I'm not going to be afraid. That's how I became less fearful, is I was thrown into circumstances that were horrific and that were extraordinary, and I cried and acted up and did all the things I could do, and it didn't work, so then I had to decide.
It's like I'm all out of.
My pockets are
I done
empty.
played all the cards, and yet we're still
I don't
here.
have any more tears. I'm exhausted. All right, I decided I won't be afraid. That's essentially how my experience went, and it didn't take all at once. I was in a revolution in Africa, and that's when that unfolded. But I didn't get an A in revolution, so I had to go back a few years later, and I was in a second revolution where I got my passing grade. And so when I got my passing grade, then from there I could start to evaluate the difference between how I grew up so fearful and so associating that idea with compliance. I got to the point where I realized I didn't have to be compliant and I would still be able to breathe. I'd still be able to eat. I'd still be able to walk. I'd still be able to get on airplanes. I could even talk back to somebody.
Right? Oh, getting a little spicy now.
Like authority could say to me, well, you can't go on here. And I could say to authority, yes, but I have all the proof and all the things I need.
Right, giving them that back talk.
But I wouldn't have done that previous to having been in revolutions
Yeah.
and being in a different country with a different language with people I didn't really have the same frequency with, who had machine guns, by the way, and who I saw doing things to people that did not look like something that you would want to have done. So after the first one, it didn't take all the way. When after the second one, I was exhausted emotionally from all of the exhaustion of the parasite that enters you as fear. Oh, I don't know. And all of that could have been used to make me cuter. I could have used all of that energy.
She's like, man, that's why we doing this. Reclaim your sovereignty, because I got to go back and get... You see, this is how that works. I get it. I get it.
It could have been channeled into wealth or houses or any number of things, but I've frittered all of my energy away in fear.
Yeah.
And shaking in my boots. I'm just shaking in my boots. Oh, I'm just shaking in my boots. And that energy never got gathered up and to be used on my behalf. It never got a chance to be elevated. It never got a chance to serve me. It just was just there for the lower energies to devour and eat and feed. I just fed the vermin.
I want to pivot a bit. When you were speaking, one of the things that came to mind was how some of what our moral belief systems are fueled by fear and like stop us from doing things that seem like going against authority or being compliant with someone because you don't want things to kick up. Would you speak on how people can bring balance to that? Because I can see where civil law is being weaponized against us.
Oh, absolutely.
And it is such I can't even say manipulation is the word. It's like something much more devious where it's basically rules for thee, not for me. And, and it requires some level of disobedience or non-compliance when the game is rigged, but you're still trying to play by the rules. But I see where there's like levels of moral beliefs that we have that could stop us from stepping into certain levels of preservation beyond the fear. Would you speak on
I
what
think
you
the
see with that?
operative word you use is belief. Be the lie. You believe. That's not the truth. That's the lie.
Yeah.
Be lie. You're going to believe, be lie, and then you go along. They say, okay, we're going to close this and we're going to take this. And then instead of you saying, if I made it once, I'll make it again. You will not make me less because you take what I have made because I made it. I know how to make it. We don't think like that. It's like, you're not going to diminish me because you take away my freedom. I'll still think divine thoughts in jail. It's like Nelson Mandela. I'll run the country from in the jail cell. I mean, what a perfect example for us. He had the people who worked in the prison bringing them flowers, the guards, delivering the messages. It's a perfect example that we don't have to be afraid of what they can do if we're thinking the thoughts that don't limit us. If we don't attribute power where there is none, there is none.
So hearing you say this brought me to a thought that arose from listening in earlier in the conversation, the necessity for mastery over our minds, like really getting control over this. And again, it speaks to it here. Your thoughts generate or create, generate, and feed all your monsters until you choose not to. So, like, look, y'all going on a fast, abstaining from these type of thoughts. We're just going to focus on it, but that clearly requires effort. It requires discipline. I think desire, even knowing why we're doing such a thing,
Yes.
even the level of intensity that's required. Because again, you said it earlier. You're like, I think you said something along the lines of this was pertaining to DNA activation, moment to moment awareness. And people are like, moment to moment, I got 5 minutes. I'm trying to be on autopilot the rest of the.
Yeah.
It's like, like people aren't fully clocked in. So these are some of the things that arise to my mind, but the primary point was mastery over our mind.
We must begin with mastery over self. We must monitor what we think and be aware when we are afraid. Once I became aware that I was afraid all the time, it became unacceptable to me. I didn't know it for years.
Like,
Yeah. I didn't know that I was scared when I saw, when I'd have to go to the doctor, or when somebody might say you have to go to court, or I didn't realize that fear arose. But once I did realize it, I'm like, oh, no, you are not greater than me. You, Mr. Judge, in your black robe, sitting up high, you are not greater than me. You are me. And you will not take from me what I will not give you. Do with whatever you're able to do, and I will do what I'm able to do. So then it became my will and my desire about my life that was always going to be more important to me than what he thought about my life. That's where you win. Whoever's in charge, you are the one who has the most at stake. So the more you love you and have authority in your own, when you give yourself the authority to be the authority, they get smaller and you get bigger. Because you're the authority in your experience. So if we begin with our children, our parents, our lovers, our husbands, our wives, you begin there. You don't begin with, the medical association.
Yeah.
You begin with, where are you seeing that you're afraid to say something to your children? Well, they're not going to like that if I tell them that. They're not going to give me nothing for Mother's Day. Like, you got to give them the money to go get the thing for Mother's Day. Stop. You got to remind them that that's what they're supposed to do. They're not even thinking about you. And anybody who still thinks they are, you're out of order. That's your reality. You need a reality check. So once we get to the point where, like, if I say this to my mother, she's going to quote the Bible to me. It's like, you got to say to her and leave the house before she can get the Bible.
It's like, all right, you got to go then. Dash out after you say what you need to say. Leave no room.
The point,
2-3 steps ahead.
The point is that we have to develop courage in the things we can develop courage in before we want to take on the government or an institution or something we think is out of order that may actually be our responsibility to take care of. Before we start telling people what they have to do for us, maybe we need to make sure we're fully authorized in our own responsibility to ourselves so that the truth will support us. Because if you're lying to yourself, this does not work. You can't be fearless and lie to yourself. It doesn't work.
The universe be like, oh, they lying. They not even serious. Why do the universe keep bringing this to me? Because you've been lying. The universe is not in question of it.
Yes.
I think that's something that's really good to remember. And I like what you said, bringing it back to what you can address within arm's reach. Start
Yes.
with your family, start with what's in front of you, and putting down the fear there. And I can see where that is us doing our part to address the larger picture and moving into the greater recognition. And I would even say the perceived, flip the perception of the value of us making these changes in our immediate reality, knowing that it's going to ripple, knowing that it will make the way or anchor that type of behavior in the collective field. You know,
Yeah.
I know it's one of the things that it often feels kind of out of sight, out of mind for us as humans, you know.
We just have such a confused perception of ourselves and others. You know how they say when you're public speaking, pretend everybody in the audience is naked?
Yeah.
Well, we don't have to pretend that everybody we're talking to is us and they can be
Yeah.
naked in the bathtub
Yeah.
if need be.
If that's what's required to
Yeah,
confidently
like
stand before them.
we don't have to. The principal, who is the principal of the school where we work, where we're the teacher, we don't, who's mean spirited, we don't have to hesitate to tell the truth if we recognize, oh, that's just my other me, and let me just get my other me straight, so that other me don't do this to other me's, you know. And I'm willing to, you know, I have had this said to me, and I have said it. I'm willing to take what comes behind this. I need to tell you something so urgently and so deeply that if you don't like it, I'm good with that. You know, like that requires levels of consideration for self, the future. If, like you have examined the landscape, see what could happen, what happens next,
Yeah.
what does that mean about my rent? You know? And I know you have walked off jobs for, and that is really confronting fear. It's like, no, I want the truth. And then the fear kicked in later.
Yeah, it was a late reaction, and I was like, "Oh, damn, that's what it, that's what that decision created." Okay, you gave me 3 hours of Pono. I did every minute, then some. It changed my life. I saved
Yes.
myself.
And I would like, and that's my point of bringing this forward, is speak about that authentic, true experience you had and how, when you were confronted with the fear that you had created through an act of courage and truth, you had put one foot into truth and you were like, whoa, ooh, then you put both feet in, then you walked off, and then it dawned on you.
It's like, oh, we out here. Whoa, we walked from the shore. What am I standing on? It's like, oh God, flailing.
And then you called me.
Yeah,
That was many years ago,
yeah,
early
was,
in our,
yeah,
when you were a client.
yeah. Yeah, I'll tell a little bit of the story. And so I was getting DNA activation. So DNA was activating, consciousness was shifting. I'm realizing what I have agreed to in terms of work, romantic relationships, friendships, business. This is not it. This is not for me. And but everything within me was like, you gotta choose the moment you're confronted with these incongruencies. And one of them was work. I was a salesman, and you selling people and pressuring and manipulating and coercing them. And I knew the type of clientele we were dealing with on the other end, so it just felt very wrong. And I'm like, I'm activating my DNA. I shouldn't be manipulating people. This is not congruent. And I walked out. I said, "Sir, why do you need to get this? You know what? Sit on it. Think about it. You're not supposed to do that." That's how you get written up. I walked out, didn't look back. Look, I'm not worried about no check. I'm standing on my integrity. And that was me walking from the shore, walking into the water. I was on top of the water. And then
Walking on the water.
I realized I was on the water. I was like, I'm doing it, but I don't know what to do from here. And so got in contact with Laota, and she said, look, and by the way, this was, I'll give a little more details. I don't mind the transparency. Not enough money in the bank. I had a month of my lease for a condo I had, and I completely stuffed off from work. And so I call you, and you say, 3 hours of Ho'oponopono. I'm like, okay, I'm desperate.
And I like the way you like, I slid it under the door.
Because you wasn't really trying to talk to me like that at that time. You're like, let's give him this. It'll work out. It'll work out. And I did it. I did it. I did it. I did it. I remember being at a friend's house saying, look, bro, I don't know what I'm going to do, but the shaman I'm working with, she told me, dude, all right, my alarm just rang. Can I use your backyard? And I'll do an hour out there. I was doing it, and I'm telling you what it allowed for me to do. And by the way, this speaks directly to our conversation. The 3 hours was required because I needed to get myself to at least neutral beyond the fear of the worst case scenario. And you could see like this boy's gonna block any opportunity for a new trajectory to even come across his path if he does not change his thinking.
The fear, and so from my side of it, I'm on the phone.
Yeah, where were you?
I'm on the
What was that like for you?
I'm on the phone with you, and I could feel the raising fear. Like, you were fine when you stepped off. You were fine when you got to the beach. You were fine when you were walking on the water until you realized you were walking on the water.
It's like, because we don't usually walk on the water. This was
It was a new experience.
very.
And I could feel the levels of what was going to happen next if I couldn't give you something that you could digest. There's a whole array of remedies for everything.
Right.
We can, there's a million ways to cure cancer. There's a million ways to help people with courage. There's a million ways to dissolve fear. But the one that you could, at that level of your understanding, the one that was the easiest for you to do and that you now had time to do.
That's right.
I was like, you do, because I had done this with people who were committing suicide, all kinds of things, and it worked every time. 3 solid hours of Ho'oponopono, but you have to mean every word of it. And if you don't, go back and do more.
I was sorry. I was sorry for all of it. I was like, I'm sorry that there's even this type of products being sold in our world. I'm sorry people got to listen to this. I'm sorry that they want to call and buy it. I'm sorry for all of this. Seriously, it was.
So what happens with Ho'oponopono is, especially at the entry level, at the level at which you were at that time, is that it's so clean and understandable. I am thankful, meaning I have this opportunity. I am so thankful. Somebody gave me something that's going to work. And I am sorry, meaning this is not I apologize. This is like, I am truly sorry. I want to reset to 0. I want to do a restart. Universe, let's restart. Talk to the deepest levels of myself. We're going to go to 0 and start over. Thank you. I love you, so I want to start over with you because I love you. I trust you that we're going to be okay when we start over, and it's going to be me and you, meaning you and yourself. We're going to be good. Yeah. Thank you. I love you. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. So the please forgive me and the I'm sorry are the reset. This is where I'm willing to accept responsibility so I can say, please forgive me, because I'm taking responsibility for my part in this equation. I went and worked for them until I didn't. But now that I don't take no more responsibility for what I'm not doing, but I hope humanity, as your words, I don't want to live in a world where this is even taking place, let alone be a perpetrator of it. So that taking the responsibility, asking for the reset, saying you love, and then being in gratitude, it's not a trifecta, it's a quadfecta.
Yeah, it's a lot going on.
Yeah, that is the thing that at almost any level, from childhood to any level of spiritual attainment, will reset you. But it requires time and intensity.
Yeah.
It requires like more than 3 minutes. It requires You can get movement in an hour, but if you're in a situation, you're in a
That was
situation.
a situation. That was like, I don't know where, how, what, why. Please help.
But so when that happens, then the universe will conspire out of the blue to come up with things that you never thought of from ways that you never even imagined and solve the problem. So share, how did that end up?
It ended up where, again, this was something financial, where I needed money to cover rent. And the money came from somebody who knew someone who knew someone.
Yeah, that's how this works. It is not within your logical, reasonable mind. It is not a right brain idea where you're going to figure out, or you're going to make someone who you know has the money loan it to you, give it to you. It's not like that. It's that the universe will find out where is the place where he knows him, and there's a connection to that one, and now we can triangulate this, and then he can get that money. So it's not even about you trying to figure it out, which is one of the things people do that messes them up.
Yeah.
They're trying to figure out, how will it happen?
It's like, that's not your job. Stop.
Your job is to want it enough, with enough clarity and enough intensity, over 3 hours so that it can come to you. So how many days did it take?
It happened by the third day, because technically I had like, I think 4 to 5 days, but it was like
That's the
hit
formula,
3 hours.
3 hours, 3 days.
About 3 days, and then
And
it
you're
came
not
forth.
supposed to stop.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is not a discussion about Ho'oponopono, but I have seen people where they've come to me and in a dire situation, I say, do it, and then they'll do it, and then everything will happen, and it'll be layered upon layer, and then they stop, and then the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah, it's much like these processes of manifestation and working with the mental plane. It always makes me think about gardening and water, sunlight, the soil, and how it is very much like that. And if you stop with the intensity of watering or sunlight, it won't grow properly, or it won't materialize properly. You might start seeing signs, and as you say, you drift off. So too does the materialization.
You lose your inspiration, and the integrity is lost. You have a garden, and you lose interest, something else comes along, you lose integrity, and the garden is lost.
Yeah.
You, whatever it is, whatever thing that you are working on, your work, you're writing a book, you're making a movie, whatever it is you're doing, you must maintain the intensity of your own integrity to keep the equation and the algorithm holding together. It's really like you create, by doing Ho'oponopono, an algorithm of intensity, and you feed it. And you feed it, then after about 3 hours, it's launched and it's going.
You see, these understandings, I feel, are mechanics that help people integrate or quantify
Yes.
what they have done with the practice, what's happening. Like when you use this type of descriptive language, I know for myself, and let us know in the chat, like if this type of descriptive language helps you understand more of who you are, how thought functions. Not like, okay, I did 3 minutes. No, that's not enough to build that algorithm to get the field
That's just
percolating.
enough time to get a fish sandwich from McDonald's. That's what you can get for 3 minutes. Walk up to the counter, give them $1. That's what you get. You get a poison, toxic fish sandwich. You need to put more. We have 24 hours in a day. Dedicate some of that time to yourself, to what you say you want. The reason it works is because it's so opposite from what we have been fed. The nutrition, well, it's not actually nutrition, but what is being fed to us as if it were food and nutrition is scattered, interrupted thoughts and visual images that are not congruent, that cannot produce success or finances or good relationships.
That's deep.
It's true.
Yeah.
It's so true. So our children are given their phones and their tablets. We're in front of computers with lights flashing. We cannot take that time and produce from that an algorithm that will bring us the levels of exaltation that you personally have experienced many times by just spending that 3 hours. But we don't want to withdraw from the flashing lights and the interruptions long enough. We're offended. Like 3 hours. I had to do my practices. It took me an hour this morning. Like, you have no idea how much time I spend in practices, so that I can be happy. The price of happiness is however long it takes. It takes however long it takes. And when you stop doing it, what do you rush back to? You rushing back to TikTok? What are you rushing back to? So you rushing back to that job where you put that headset on and lie some more? You read your script.
Thank you for calling such and such. Savara speaking.
Right.
This is good. This is solid on so many fronts, and I think really gives us something to marinate on. I know you mentioned several times this is not necessarily a talk about Ho'oponopono. However, it can be used to collapse fear.
It's
and
easy.
It's
It's
extremely
free.
effective.
It's easy. It's free. Nobody can make money off of it. Go ahead and take it. If you follow the money, there's no money to follow. Try it. There's nothing. Like if you're one of those people who's like, they're just compassionate for the passionate. That's not.
That's the first I've heard. They're just compassionate for the cash. I bet whoever made it was like, ooh, yes. And the other person's like, yes, because they are, right? It's so true.
There's no money to be made in
That's hilarious.
Ho'oponopono. There's no money to be made in that. Just sit in your car, get in the bathtub, walk around the house, be in the shower. If you have a real situation, do 3 hours, but mean every word of it. No, you're about to reset with the universe. You can't do that in the drive-through window.
Yeah.
That's not a fast emotional and spiritual order.
Yeah.
It takes time.
I trust that your words have shared or inspired creating a strong enough reason why to give that time for it. I like what you were saying. What else am I going back to?
Yeah.
What's waiting for me? I think that this type of context helps us discern.
Yeah, and it's like, I have to hurry up. Like,
Back to the matrix. I got to get back to the matrix. Okay. It's waiting on me. I might miss
I got to
something.
get back to my plastic clothes and my polyester bag. I got to hurry up and get back to the chemicals in my hair.
There's nothing there for us. All right. We're gonna go to a commercial break, and it looks like there's a bit of activity in our chat as well. We see you all. It's a little thick in here today. Thank you all for joining us for our podcast. We're gonna go to a quick commercial break from our sponsor, Aluka Inc. And when we return, we're going to tap into the chat, see what you guys are talking about. And I'm sure it was a really good podcast for you all too. And it's so real and relatable. We're all confronted with it. So we'll see you on the other side of this.
The goal was never. If you're a conscious investor looking to make a difference, you need to hear about Aluka Gold. Because doing good and doing well isn't just a dream, it's our promise. Let's face it, everyone wants their money to work harder. But what if your gold investment could do double duty? Aluka Gold is more than just precious metal. We're committed to ethical sourcing and total transparency so you know exactly where your gold comes from, and who it helps. Every ounce you invest helps support real miners and their communities with humanitarian projects and fair wages. That's not just good business, it's good for the world. You get solid, physical gold, plus the pride of knowing your investment brings hope and opportunity to families who need it most. So why settle for ordinary returns when you can spark extraordinary change? Invest with purpose. Invest with Aluka Gold. Do good, do well, and let your gold investment shine brighter than ever.
All right, that was an older commercial from Aluka. However, for wealth assets and management protection, visit alukainc.com. And once again, we thank Alex in Dubai for assisting us, being a sponsor of our podcast. So again, we are here talking about fear, and it looks like there was quite a bit of commentary. Let's see here. So we have Serenia, how long it took me to get here. Gina says, Ho'oponopono definitely helped me in seeing the truth in my fears. We have the charm exempt. I think that's what it says. Feeling all this love, right? What is the rush back to? Happiness takes as long as it takes. I know that's right. I like what you were saying. Do it until you feel the shift. Do it until you're happy, whatever it takes. Le Leon Eri says, I almost did that this morning. I was late for work and almost left without doing my practices. I literally was just like, I would rather be later and do my practice, and I got to start somewhere. Be like that. Is that energy hygiene lifestyle? All right, we got Gina. You always speak upon what I need to be reminded of, and how I want to show up authentically and truthfully in life. I can tell the day I skip my practices. So there's a lot of commentary, people here saying, look, I'm with you, I get it. I know, and I think that's something that's very important, and it has served me. The Ho'oponopono experience is one where it's like, boom, the understandings, they open up. You see your own magic. You see the connection between your thoughts and the influence on the material world, and how you can get in the way. But then there's the contrast when you don't have the fireworks happening in your reality, and it's just kind of, and I have seen that it has served me and others where, okay, you skipped a couple of days and your experience isn't on cloud nine, but you know you can get there though, and sometimes it is like, let me hurry up and squeeze this in and do this. Or even more, like you said before, or we have the reverence and respect, like this is what it takes for me to get where I need to be.
And when there's not a catastrophic experience, and when everything is going well, do it even more, because now you're working on the ancestry and the past lives. Like, it'll clean up everything in the living room, then it'll start looking to see what's in the back room, in the attic, in the basement.
Yeah.
And that's perfect. So just, don't use it don't pull out your 6 gun just for a gunfight.
Yeah.
Keep your guns handy. Keep your hand on it so you can remember.
Yeah.
But you don't, it's not, once you get past the gunfight, there won't be any more gunfights if you keep doing it. It just erodes all of the recycled trauma and fragmentation from our lineage and our past lives. It starts helping humanity. You start becoming the light worker that you are here to be.
Yeah.
Because you take care of you, and then you're like, anybody else need some light? Mom, you need some light? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My ex-husband, oh, yeah, you need some light. You start doing it like that. My children need some light, And so it doesn't have to be catastrophic. It doesn't have to be where it's so intense, but it needs to be considered each word. It shouldn't be, it should be where every word means something. You have that clarity and that intensity, and that simple process of changing what you're thinking changes your entire reality. It's amazing.
Yeah, very much. The language is very descriptive and paints a really good visual. Like when you were giving the value to longer durations, and what's the benefit, what's the gain, and moving from, it's almost like, it's reminding me of like scheduling and project management, where like prioritizing, it's always in the red. It's always in the red. It's like, no, get out of the red. And it's like, the red is like, I gotta keep shooting. There's always something.
Unless you make it a practice, a daily practice, and it's something I'm not speaking. I did it myself,
Yeah.
and it helped me release a lot of old slights and interference patterns from this lifetime and others.
Yeah, and it was that right there, the description of like the language, the practice, the broadcast erodes
Yes,
the what's imprinted and that
yes,
has been perpetually recycled,
yes,
and so it's a very beautiful understanding, and it's again, who are we? Like,
yes,
what are we?
yes. So it's very important, and I'm glad to hear people speaking about this.
Yeah. Let's see. Lauta is oxygen in smog polluted air. STMT Measy, appreciate you. Sonia, I love Ho'oponopono, it works. She's like, look, cosign.
Yeah, everybody should be doing it. You got a crisis, you should be doing Ho'oponopono. You are the solution to your dilemma.
Yeah, it's always the
Only
case.
you. Everything else is a Band-Aid.
Erica says, I always feel called to chant the word Ho'oponopono in addition to the phrases. Is there a benefit to chanting the word?
There's yes, the words are extremely important. The sound and the frequency of the word itself, not only that word, but all words that are in truth, even the word belief, when you say, I am a knower, and you say, I'm a believer, the truth is in the knowing, not in the believing. So the word itself has more integrity, more strength. So saying the word gives you levels of integrity and strength. It doesn't take the place of doing the practice, but it is valuable.
Yeah.
There's no replacement for thank you, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry. However, Ho'oponopono adds to it. That's the icing.
Yeah.
Absolutely, it's meaningful and beneficial.
Yeah, thank you for that. We have Delilah says, Pono helps me to clear those fearful thoughts, allowing for the universe to step in to provide what I am asking assistance for.
Yes,
Yeah.
sometimes we get so tied up in the fear that we just can't hear or see anything. And remember, fear is a parasite. It is a parasite that inhabits you and that you let devour you. You let the parasite, like, oh, don't eat my foot.
Like, it's eating my foot. Oh, it's good. It's going up my ankle now. Oh no. Oh, what am I?
That's exactly the case.
You got like 5 business days to respond, and you just.
And he's like, oh, I got my calves back. Okay, I can see my heel. It's a parasite,
Yes.
and we're being forced into the frequency of fear constantly. It is not an accident that the Diddy files were in front of us, and now Epstein is in front of us, and that the release of all of these things that we don't know as a collective nation what to do with. We don't know what to do with these horrific, scary, frightening things that make us fear for our children, that make us fear for our country, that make us fear for our lives and what people are doing. All of this is intentional and on purpose to encourage us, be afraid. Be afraid to go to the grocery store. Somebody might get you. Be afraid to go to the parking lot. Somebody might get you. Be afraid to get gas up your car. No telling what could happen. People could steal your groceries or steal you right off.
Right out of the parking lot.
That's what's happening. We're gonna call up all the children to go into the army. We're gonna take away all the women's rights. I mean, look at what's in the echo chamber.
Yeah.
Look at what's in the echo chamber. By the way, listeria with all the food. No more lettuce. No more guacamole.
They got the guac. They got the guac.
They took the guac.
They took the guac. That's why you got to make your own guac.
Yeah.
It's
So,
hard.
but it's like everything is encouraging you. Disobey.
Yeah.
Disobey the command. They want you to be afraid, be fearless. Like, I still am not afraid because I can grow my own food. I can sprout my own sprouts. I can stand in the sun. I can breathe the air, even if it's contaminated.
Yeah.
You know, I can skin breathe. I will skin breathe you all. Well, like, I won't even use my lungs. Damn it. Like, disobey the fear. Disobey what they're saying. Anytime anything rises up in you and you think, oh, disobey. Like, I'm going to be courageous. I'm going to think my way out of this with other people who want to think their way out of this. Find them in your spiritual practices. Call to join with others who want the same thing you want. We do not need to convert anybody to anything. Forget that. Find the ones who already are where you are. Forget conversions.
Yeah, we're beyond that time in the game.
We're not trying to convert you. We're not trying to proselytize.
Yeah.
I just want to find the ones who want what I want, who want to do what I want to do, and who are willing to do it. How about that? How about we do that and then see if conversions happen as a side effect? That's not the way. And the ones who don't want it, your room is down the hall. You're in the wrong room. You're not in the right place. We want to live. We're not trying to do what you're trying to do. No conversions and no who don't want it. So we take the rest. We'll take everybody else.
Yeah.
So
I can feel people feeling where you're coming from with that.
I mean, forget trying to convince your relatives and your family. Forget that. You go be right. You go be beautiful. You go find a way to make sure your problems go away. And they'll be like, ooh, what you doing? I want what you drinking. So no conversions here, but if you, we're not doing.
That's an indirect conversion. It's gonna happen
Like,
as a side.
you have to really want it. Like, go on, with your unconverted self. Go on away from here. Close the door.
Oh man. Okay. All right, so we've laughed our way through the hour. We're well over time here.
Okay.
And I also want to thank you all for rolling with us. We had a nice amount of people here, and we trust that this has inspired you to look at the fear within your life. And I think one of the major takeaways for me was the value in addressing our own fear within arm's reach, and how that influences the greater field. Like knowing that that means something whenever we overcome it.
I'm encouraging everyone to look at who you don't want to say something to because you're afraid of how they'll respond. Think about who is that. Those are people close to you, your children, your parents, your relatives, the people you work with. You know, who is it that you're scared to say something to? I have private clients, and the first thing I teach them, stop lying. Because a lie is being afraid. The first thing you have to do, stop lying. Because you only lie because you're afraid. You don't lie because it doesn't mean anything. You lie because it does mean something. You know, I'm not going to tell my wife where I was because she's going to say something. I'm afraid of what she's going to say. No, don't do that. You lose yourself in that.
So I can't even compute. I can't even.
Stop lying. That's one way to identify your fear. When you catch yourself saying, no, you didn't do something when you know you did it, you were afraid. Check yourself then so nobody else has to. Because what you're afraid of is getting checked. Check yourself. Like, oh, yes, I inadvertently did the thing that you were saying I did. That's one small step for, I don't want to say mankind.
Yeah, right, but you get the picture.
One small step towards being the truth.
Yeah, there we go. We'll roll with that.
So thank you so much. We're so glad that you joined us. We hope that you will join us again next week for our live stream. We'd like to give you the greetings of In Lakesh and Veritas with honor, respect, and gratitude. Thank you.